Well, I guess it doesn't matter because here it is. Um, One day I'm gonna get used to that. So my hope is we're using StreamYard, and the breaks transition are rough because we can't talk behind the scenes while the video is running. Um, so anyway, hopefully that'll get itself worked out over time. Rich Rogers, tell us about Rich Rogers. What's going on with you, and how'd you get to Adder? Why'd you pick Adder? What? Yes, talk to me.
Hey, I'm Rich Rogers, ORKLORD, Orklord on Twitter. I'm a member of the Gauntlet gaming community, and I edit and produce all of the podcasts that the Gauntlet puts out, and I'm co-hosts of Plus One Forward, which is a podcast powered by the Apocalypse that I do with Rach, where we interview lots of designers with Plus One, with powered by the Apocalypse games, like all the way from Apocalypse World to the episode that's coming out probably this week about Shibuya Nights. It's fun. So, Adder. This is an interesting game in that you start off with a scant amount of, like, character creation is your concept. Think about 1 or 2 or 3 words or short phrases that could describe them. Where they're from, and then like their name. So I think originally I was going with the name Odin, Odun, and then I just thought that Adder would be interesting because of the like math and also snakes and also just like a neat double word thing. It just felt like it fit with some of the other suggested names in Nibiru. And the personality is really, I'm like, I'm seeing where Jeremiah and Brendan are taking their characters, and I thought, I think a crotchety old dude might be the like third part of this yokel young person kind of triangle there. So that's about where I've been heading with that.
Nice, I like it. Brendan, who are you?
I am a writer and an editor. I mostly write for veterinary stuff. I've been playing RPGs since I was in my teens. Started out with White Wolf stuff, and I've dipped in and out of our group here in this area. And as far as my character, Magog, Gog and Magog are famous. I think they're evil kings, or at least there are conflicts with Gog and Magog in the Bible, and so I thought it was a cool name. It said Brighttown was like it could be like the Old West, kind of like an optimistic small town kind of thing, and that could be spun. I mean, you could spin that village any way you want, but I thought everybody wants to be the sheriff, everybody wants to be the gunslinger, everybody wants to be. I'm like, what about just the farmer in the small town? You know, that small town is surrounded by farms, so I'm like, how about just some farmer in the? So I don't know. I just thought, a farmer, why not? That's why.
Nice. That's fantastic. And the man who's responsible for us playing this game, Jeremiah Fry.
Oh, that's me. I thought it was you. I'm Jeremiah. My day job has to do with power stations, so that's fine. It's not that interesting. So as far as my character and like kind of the game, like the game itself and the setting and everything, like it's weird, but like in a way that draws me in because I don't know quite what to expect out of it, and so that was part of the reason why I was sort of drawn to the habitat of the machine, because that felt so strange and alien to be this person that has no real memories except of being a machine or an AI in the past. And I was like, I don't know what that's going to look like or how that's going to work. So I just kind of immediately was drawn to that. And I also like the idea that if we play long enough, one of the concepts behind the machine is like, if I fill up a journal page the next journal page is from like an entirely different AI. So it's sort of like, oh, now I've got memories of this type of robot, but now I've got memories of this other type of robot. And that seems like a lot of fun to play with over the course of a few sessions. So I'm really excited to see where that goes.
Nice. I picked up the challenge because Nibiru does some weird, fun things with the setting and the concept, playing with memories, and then the dice mechanics. So that all drew me in. And so none of us have played this. We're roughing it out. We're working it out. So we'll see where it goes. I think we're looking at fungus trading, yeah?
Yes, and during the break, I looked up the U.S. pronunciation is fungi, like fungi, and then the British pronunciation is fungi. But I don't care. I think we should just call it funguses. So,
I was gonna say let's just go with funguses. Let's make it the
funguses is how exactly we should go. That's how they pronounce it on this planet here.
It feels like feels like the most American way to like steal a word. And
As a child of two teachers, I just can't hang with that. Sorry. Not going there. Can't do it.
Can't do funguses.
You guys can do all you want, but that word's not coming out of my mouth.
Hey, language evolves.
So I think so in Nibiru, they have a section on flora, and they talk about fungi 101. And there are several types in here by color. There's red, green, blue, black, brown, and white fungi. Everything except the humans in the station function on this concept of bioelectricity, right? So the humans will consume the fungi, but everything else from the fungi to all the other flora and fauna live and operate off this bioelectricity. As we play more, right, we'll unspool what's going on there, what that's all about. There's an underlying thing that connects all that stuff together. Rather than do this massive setting dump, right, we'll just play through it and reveal things as we encounter them. We're talking about fungus today because we're going to do some fungi trading. So I think from Stillwater, I think you guys grew or harvested blue fungi. Ooh. So you have plenty of that. I think the traders may have given you some red and blue fungi. And just to keep things interesting, let's say you've got a small amount of this white fungi. The blue and the red are pretty common, but the white is a special breed. I want to say rare. They have a neurotoxin that can kill an adult human. But if harvested and prepared correctly, it also has variants that cause hallucinations in those who consume them. This white fungi often requires special licenses in Nibiru to trade, use, sell, et cetera, et cetera. So you have some of that. Whether, I'll let you three decide, whether those white fungi were harvested in Stillhold or whether they were traded to you for helping those traders. I'll let you decide that. But you have some of those.
Somebody else I certainly don't farm white fungi. But you guys could have it. I mean, we could have got you.
That's fantastic.
Is there like a white fungus black market or something?
There has to be. It's the drug.
There has to be. Yes, there has to be.
Something was up with those merchants, apparently. Smugglers.
Right. So what is true is you have some, right? And what it sounds like as players, it didn't come from Stillhold. So then that means the traders traded. Well, it didn't come from what you folks, the three of you, may have grown or gardened, right? So those traders handed some of that off to you along with their red fungi. All right, cool. So I think we're kind of wide-eyed walking down this massive hall, right? I think Magog is looking for other kinds of fungi, right? Ormus is more concerned about the hauler you have. Will it keep up? Because it's the slowest of the three of you, right? Will it keep up? Will it make the journey? Will it make the trip? So he's more concerned about that. And I guess, Adder, you're also looking for a place to trade up some of the fungi for cooked fungi?
Yeah.
So maybe you both end up at the same vendor. Maybe it's a husband-wife team, right? And they've got two stalls, one right next to the other. One's making hot food, right? Soups, things like that. And the other one is more of the farmer trading in fungi and other flora and goods and things like that. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
This trader sounds like a real fun guy.
No, not fungus jokes.
That's the one. You get
That's
the
it,
one.
I'm done.
No, done. You get the one. Nice.
Is that one for
Rhea.
the table or one each?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Can we get
I
that
think-
set
I
up in the
think
rules here?
it's one for the table, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Per session.
kinda
Per
like-
session.
Yeah, per session. Yeah, one per session. I like that. I thought we talked about this.
It's like the F-bomb in a PG-13 movie.
You get one.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. You get one.
Oh, that's the F. The F bomb is fungi.
It's fungus.
Oh, criminy. Okay. All right. That's fair.
Nice. Rhea seems to be the owner of both these vendor stalls. And she greets. She does the greeting. She greets Magog. And she's got a stall full of fungi, different varieties of fungi, and then gardening tools and equipment and things like that. She's got red, green, blue.
Green, that's what I want.
And some black.
Mm,
The black is mostly used kind of like a tobacco product. But they're also hard to harvest this far from the core. Yes, that's what she has.
I mean, I want a sample of anything. I'm not so much about. I don't even know if I want to try to sell the white fungi. I mean, will we get in trouble for that? I don't think I'm even supposed to. I don't have a license to farm that. But I want this green fungi. It says it's hard to grow. Sounds like a challenge, and it sounds like you can use. But if it grows well, you can use it to make a lot of food, and that's
Yeah.
I'm into that. So if I want to try to see what I can trade / sell.
All right. And Adder, what you can certainly get or trade out raw fungi for cooked fungi here.
Mhm.
Van is in the second stall right next to Rhea's stall. And he's got kind of a grill and a hot plate that he's working some culinary magic on.
Well, we'll see about this magic.
Nice.
Oh,
So I think
yeah.
Rhea just makes a base standard trade green fungi for, what do you offer up?
I don't know. I'm squirrely about trying to sell this white fungi. I'm just going to hold on to that. I mean, somebody else could take it and sell it. What do I have? Red and blue?
Right. She's probably going to be interested in the blue. Red's pretty common, and she's got enough red.
Yeah.
So I think she's into like a 3-to-1 trade. 3 blue for every green. I think that's where she's at.
That doesn't sound right.
Something like that.
How do we bargain in this game?
Yeah. So this will also be a contested roll, right? You get 3 dice for free, right? Unless you've got some memories or you want to buy a memory for haggling or something to help you here. She has 4 dice in trading is what this is. So I guess we're wrapping haggling into trading.
Okay. No, I don't want to do a memory.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So what we'll do here then is you're going to roll 3 dice and you're going to add them up. She's going to roll her 4 and add them up. Highest total wins. Sound good?
Yeah.
Oh, you rolled already? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I went too fast.
Sorry, that's my fault. Let me catch up. Oh, did I lose my? No, that's there. There it is. No, that's not it. This is it. Too many buttons, man. Too many buttons. So I will add a new action type called trading, because that's what's happening here. And then I will roll her 4 dice.
Oh crap! No, she got 4 dice. Ooh. I guess that's fair.
Yeah. But she seems like she enjoyed the banter back and forth, right? With the trading.
So we do have influence points.
Yeah, what are
Yes, you do.
Which we haven't really talked about.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yes. So you can spend an influence point and re-roll your dice. They will let you do that.
Oh. Does anything happen? Is it just mechanical, or does it have any story or narrative impact on anything?
No, it's just mechanical. You can also use influence points to add small details. You will need them when you get your revelation powers. But here, you can re-roll your dice. And you can also at any time spend an influence point to add details.
No, if she had fun, I mean, I'm friendly. So if she had fun, I asked her questions and she enjoyed the questions. She got one over on me on the price. I gave up on the price because she was telling me stuff. So yeah, I lose.
But you gain some amount of green fungi.
Okay. But I got to give up a lot of our. She wanted blue, so I have to give up a lot of our blue, way more than I wanted.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. 3-to-1.
Okay. All right. Well, I give up 3 to the 1.
Nice. I think at the same time, while that haggling and trading was happening, Adder is not steps away from you at the next stall where Van is cooking. What do you want to do, Adder?
Yeah, I'll look over this hot plate that he's got and then look along to see if there are any particular spices he might have on display. See if I can figure out what his cooking scheme is. Is he savory? Is it sweet? Is it spicy? Is it hot?
I think it's hot, right? I think if he's got, I don't know, 8 containers of spices nearby, like 4 or 5 of them are adding heat, right, to whatever it is, right? So I think he's all about hot and spicy things.
Okay. Looks like you're cooking up some really hot stuff there, Van. Not hiding anything, are you?
I think he's into his tray. He looks up and he says, I can make it mild for you.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I can handle spice. I'm just saying some people cover up, old mushrooms with too much spice.
I don't have to put anything in it. I could just cook it plain.
Now, meet his eyes for a bit. Like, do I get the feeling he's like just trying to challenge me, or is he very confident in his culinary skills?
Nice. I think because I like filling in our action types. I think I wanna call for roll here.
Okay.
What I don't want is to have combat heavy action types or physical heavy action types.
No.
So I like what you're doing here. If it was Apocalypse World, this feels like read a person, right?
Yeah.
Is
that 2d6 thing you were talking about before?
Right. Now we already have awareness. We could broaden that up and use that here, or we can make a new action specifically for feeling somebody out.
I kind of like the idea of, we've got stamina and swimming, so those could easily, well, not easily, but
there's a little overlap potentially.
Yeah, so I think something that could potentially overlap with awareness, but is a little bit more about interfacing with people, getting a read off them could be fun.
I had the same idea. I kind of like differentiating between like environment / situations and
awareness is kind of like reading a situation.
Oh, buy that.
We're buying
so what do we want to call this? We could just steal read a person.
Size them up.
I'm not opposed to read a person. I'm not opposed to that at all.
Let's go with read a person. We will have some time between sessions to refactor these labels, right? Yeah. We know what we mean when we say read a person, but if we find a better word, we can change it later.
There's got to be a better word, but the only other thing I can think of is a skill from Gumshoe that I don't want to call to use. So
nice. So I think, unless you're buying a memory, straight 3d6, 3d4, and you just need 1 success, right?
Yep. Here we wait. Oh man, I always keep accidentally adding more dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I screw up that roll thing constantly.
Okay. All right. So clear and then add the dice, container, then roll. All right. 3d4. Here it comes. 1, 2, and 4. We're going with total. Is that right?
Nice. No, just so here it's not contested. It's a normal roll. So we're just counting 4s.
Okay. Then I have
and those are the 2 kinds of rolls. Yes, and you only need 1. Something special happens when you get 3 successes. When that happens, we'll talk about that. Something also special happens when you get all 1s. Dun, dun, dun. And we'll talk about that when that happens. So I think he's trying to be detached, right? He's playing it detached. He's playing it cool. It's like whatever. But yes, he's goading you into getting into something spicy.
All right. But do I also get a feeling that he's confident, or is this just a job to him, or is Is he a cook? Is he a chef? That's what Adder wants to know here.
Gotcha. No, this is a job, right? I think
Okay.
I think we see Adder look past the spices, and you can see there's some like cheat sheet notes kind of around, right? So this is probably something he's being mentored or taught on. This is a job. He's good at it, but this is not his calling. This is not his passion. He's a cook, not a chef.
Yeah, he's a cook, not a chef. All right, Adder becomes a little less interested in this tete-a-tete, so to say. Just give me some blue and go ahead and make it spicy. It's fine.
Nice. Now he can cook up the blue you have, right? Or you can trade blue in, and he'll just cook up what he's got and make.
He can cook up the blue I've got. That sounds good. That way we don't have any more than we need to carry.
Right.
Because now I care about the load that I. Whereas before I grabbed extra stuff.
Nice. So you two are haggling, buying, eating, trading. Ormus is checking out the hauler, doing some light maintenance stuff, looking it over. Maybe a few steps away from the stalls you guys are in, just to not be in the way. I think Ormus is the first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm picturing, a somewhat chaotic marketplace, but there's probably some throughways. So we've got the hauler parked to one side, so it's not a traffic jam.
Right. I think as Ormus is doing some light maintenance on the hauler, there's a commotion a little bit up ahead. Ormus is the first to see it. There's some jostling, some people getting pushed around. And then I meant to do this earlier, and I didn't load it yet. And then there's a figure, probably as big as Magog, maybe a little bulkier, certainly as tall as Magog. Mm-hmm. Emerges from the crowd of folks, more like erupts because he's knocking folks down as he's moving through. Some folks he grabs, right? And he grabs like by the neck, the side of the neck, or the back of the head in the neck, and he brings him into his face, right? Let me update. I'm loading a file up so you can see what I see. When he grabs them by the neck, he brings their head in close so they're eye to eye, and then shoves them away and continues to move down the hall, not running, but he's moving with purpose.
I'm certainly standing up to take notice. Like, is he it? Oh, okay. Like coming this direction toward the hall?
Yes, he's headed. Yeah, he's coming down the hall toward where the three of you are.
Let's oh, there we go. Okay. I mean, my first thought at this point is to, safeguard the hauler. Like, I'm not letting whatever his business is, if he's being that careless about things that are in his way, I'm trying to determine, is he going to be coming right through here? Is he going to be bypassing?
Right now, right now you're pretty directly in his path, right? He's not off to the left, off to the side. He's pretty much coming down the middle, bumping into folks. I would say Adder and Magog are off to the side. He'll miss them. Yeah. But if he stays in this direction, he's going to run right into you, right? You'll be in his path unless you move.
I'm not moving.
Nice.
No, you move. I guess because we've been awakened or whatever. We've spent some time, at least around Stillwell. Like,
Right.
is there anything like? Does that clothing or attire does that mean anything? Like, does that give me an idea that like, oh, this is a high level functionary, or this is some sort of
Right.
security personnel, or something like that?
Right. So I will say, without making a dice roll, without making a check,
Mm-hmm.
we know that there are automations.
Sure.
Humans have repurposed stuff, and it looks like something, since it's clothed, right? That we humans have repurposed to do something else.
Oh.
I will also say Helen would have made sure, if you didn't already know, that sometimes the things that get repurposed to do other things, they break down, right? And they go rogue.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the whole shtick of the machine habitat.
Yes.
Sort of. I mean, character-wise, I may not be fully aware of that yet, but
Right.
at a player level, yeah, there's rogue AIs. Yeah, I guess my first instinct is to try to know who or what this is, and maybe and go from there. Like that might give me an idea of what their business is and why they're behaving that way, or something
Nice.
along
I like
those
it.
lines. Yeah.
All right. So that's a check. Let's make a check. And this one, this action type, I'm going to call lore because I like that name.
Okay.
We can get more specific with it as we move forward in games, but I think right now this is generic enough.
Lore kind of makes sense too.
Yeah. This is a normal roll, so unless you buy memory.
Nope. I do not have the points for memory.
Gotcha. It's 3d6, 3d4.
Yep.
We'll beat that tick sooner or later, and you just need one success.
All right, here we go.
Oh, nice. I think when you get three successes, what happens is you
get like a free memory.
Right. So that's kind of neat. There are mourner AIs. There's a barge in the Taurus, and we'll talk about the Taurus later on, that is a necropolis, and usually the dead end up there, and these mourner AIs will grow fungus from the corpses of the dead.
More fungus. Okay.
Yes. On certain cycles, they dock that barge. Some of the mourners come off to collect the dead from folks, and folks will turn over their dead, and in return, the mourners will usually give them the fungus. I think it's white fungus that grows there. It might be brown. Well, I'll have to look that up. I can't remember. But it's the only kind that grows from corpses. And then it takes the dead bodies back to the barge, right? And they just rotate their way around through the Taurus. This is attired as one of the mourner AIs.
Gotcha.
But
it seems like it's probably been repurposed because this is way away from where they're usually seen.
Right. Yeah, it's way away from the Taurus. Yes, way from the barge.
Gotcha.
It should be on.
Gotcha.
And as it makes its way, like I said, down the hall towards you, every now and again, it'll grab a body, right?
Yeah.
And brings it in close, face to face.
But it's not like, I mean, it's certainly being rude and but it's not like physically assaulting people. Like it's kind of picking them up and tossing them aside, but it's not like slapping people around or What
So
level of aggression?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll say it again. You could consider it assault, right? Because it grabs a person, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes it moves the hand, so it's got him by the neck and it pulls him in
Gotcha.
close, right? And then like eyeball to eyeball, right?
Yep.
And then it just shoves him away, right? None of that's polite. A lot of that is violent.
Yeah. And he's coming this. Okay. I guess really my first thought is I'm probably just gonna try to get people's attention to get out of its way, like
Gotcha.
start making noise and trying to get a warning out so that whatever path this thing is on, people are getting out of its way.
Gotcha. At some point, Magog and Adder become aware of this commotion. I want to say it might be 20 feet away at this point.
Uh-oh. I'm going to pull my shovel off my back and quit the trading and start walking over toward Ombris.
Reach into my pocket and take hold of my monocular, but it's obviously shoving people out of the way because it's going somewhere. Where does it want to go? What's it trying to accomplish besides being annoying?
So do we know if these things are do we know enough about these things at this point to know they can be broken? So could this thing be broken and malfunctioning?
Yes, I would. Yeah, I would. I think that's easy knowledge, right? If nothing else, Helen would have made you aware that sometimes these things break down.
I just had a crazy idea. Oh, well, I don't know if it's applicable here.
Say it again.
I was gonna say I might have a crazy idea, but I don't know if it's applicable here because there's this whole concept of the lost tongue that I think it says really only the oldest machines would speak. So I don't know that trying to use that with this thing would necessarily work. Probably not.
At some point, he reaches another vendor where folks are kind of crowded in. I'm bad at figuring out vendors. Maybe this vendor sells cloth, right? And so they're kind of sheltered in that area where that vendor is. And this sorry, I just saw Jed's message out here.
I don't know what it means, but it's slightly scary. So maybe you should just go ahead and do it.
So it goes into the clothing vendor stall, right? And it grabs like the first person. It's doing the same thing. It grabs it pretty much by the neck. And again, if it can, it wraps around to the back of the head so it can bring that person in close, right? Very violent. And once it meets its eyes, right, it shoves that person away. And it does the same thing to two more people. But it grabs a dude, right? And that dude it hangs on to, and the other hand kind of grabs it by the front of its clothing, maybe the pants and the shirt, and lifts the dude up, right? And then turns away from the stall, right? And begins walking back down the hallway it came from with the dude in tow. And the dude's struggling, but he's not going anywhere. The machine has it solid.
What are other people doing? Are other people just getting out of its way? Is anybody?
Yeah, folks are just getting out of its way, right? I think there's some screaming from the stall that he got abducted from. But for the most part, folks are just getting out of its way.
Do we all know Ombris is like AI, machiney, technology?
I feel like we've kind of been around each other long enough that because I think there's some amount of assumption that we all know we're different and that we're amnesics and have memories from strange sources. So I think it's probably fair to say that, yeah, you would have some idea that my memories all seem to come from machines and AIs and things.
I feel like Umbra should know if this is a threat or a problem. I don't want to go marching after somebody. I don't know how people live around here.
Yeah.
Maybe they grab each other like, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, it was obvious that thing was looking specifically for that guy.
It could be a criminal.
I was going to say, it's either a kidnapping or it's a bounty. And I don't know which one.
In the main rule book, it implies that vagabonds, what you are, have a secret language. I always think of thieves can't, or the hobo language, or maybe even sign language, so they can communicate amongst each other. And I think they recognize each other out in the wild. So that implies that, if nothing else, the three of you realize that you're all in the kind of same boat with your lost memories. Yeah, this thing has this guy, and he's walking with purpose back down the main hall.
Yeah. I think at this point my instinct is to help the guy. Like if this was some sort of like officially sanctioned, like this guy's a criminal and I'm a bounty hunter bot, I'm gonna announce my intentions, and it's not. It didn't. It just came and took the guy. So that feels shady to me. So I'm gonna pick up a wrench, like one of those like massive like sci-fi wrenches from where I was checking on the hauler, and I'm just gonna go whack at one on, try to get this guy away.
Adder, Magog, you see your miss.
I would back him up. So if this is going to turn into
it is a terrible idea.
It is a terrible idea.
Almost certainly, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I would follow after Magog, who's going after Ormus. The robot apocalypse happens. I'm saying I called it.
Nice. So here's what's important, right? Ormus is going to have to roll some dice, and if you're helping, you get to give him a die, right? Yeah. But that ties you into whatever his fate is. So whatever he gets, you get too.
Okay.
Yeah, I got his back.
Yep. I'm in. Here we go.
All right.
Cool.
So I think this becomes a physical conflict, right? I think the three of you roll up on this creature that's holding this guy.
Yeah.
Gotta grab his stats, sorry.
Yeah, we did not choose to talk it over with the robot, which we could have done. We chose not to do that.
It didn't seem like a talker.
Right.
All right, so this feels like melee. I don't know that stamina's going to work here, right?
Yeah. My gut instinct is, because like this thing's probably strong and sturdy, is like, if I can just get that wrench to like trip him up, get it between his legs, maybe he falls, maybe he lets go of the guy and the guy runs off. Like that's like, I don't think we're necessarily going to beat this thing into submission. That doesn't seem super likely, but if we can create enough of an opening for this guy to get away, that's my goal, I feel like.
Gotcha. That's what I was going to ask. Because it's one roll, right? We're going to put these dice together. We're kind of talking out what's at stake, how what the stakes are. I think it being a contested roll, we're going to add up, right? It'll be the sum of your roll versus the sum of the creature's roll.
Okay.
Winner take all. It has 8 dice.
Okay.
Here we go.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
We got 5. We got 2 of us, 3 of us.
Right, and 1 for the wrench. So take 1 more die for the wrench.
I'll take 1 for the wrench.
And like you can spin influence after the fact to reroll, right?
Yeah.
That is correct. Right.
And I can make the narrator reroll.
Is that right?
Yeah, I saw
That
the
is
rule. So
stinky.
if
Okay.
you roll like a really, really well, it might be
Yeah,
better to
yeah.
just make you reroll.
I like that. I think if it wins, hmm. Yeah, I think the dude is broken, right? And it lets it go, but I think he hurts that dude pretty good, right? I think that dude will walk away with some permanent injuries, right? He's
Sure.
not dead, but he has some permanent injuries, and he'll let it go, right? And that's if this creature wins.
Yeah.
And I think I got that right. Oh, it won't do it. Okay, I gotta add these myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
That's a lot of dice.
And no, it is 23.
What was it? Oh, I just rolled it. Where did my roll go?
I see a 16.
Oh, you see
Yeah,
it.
me
Okay. Well, that's not very good. I feel like I rolled averagely. Maybe my hope is that you just roll a lot worse. I don't know what's because let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, for me to get higher than that would be, I would have to make a perfect roll pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna spin an influence point just to see what happens and make you re-roll your pool and.
No, that's good. Yeah, no, I like it. I didn't realize you could spend influence points to force me to re-roll too. And wow, that's weird. I got 23 again. Let me clear it and re-roll.
Oh, okay.
That is weird.
That is weird. Yeah, I don't.
A little bit, yeah. I feel like yeah, you might have to clear it. I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I cleared it. I'm gonna roll it again.
Nice.
19.
Oh wait. Oh, it's still better than me. Well, I tried.
But,
yeah, those extra 2 dice.
Well, I could spin an influence and have you re-roll your average roll. Could I not?
Since you're the helper, I don't think so. I think it has to be. Yeah, because this is your
doesn't hurt to ask. Okay.
Yeah. I like the idea. So we try.
Right. No. So I think. Yeah. So I think you guys kind of wail on this mourner AI, right? But it's sturdy. It's built strong. I think you bust up its clothes. I think it's got some ribs. But at some point, it has enough. And I'm trying to think what permanent. Maybe he just tosses the guy back at the three of you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And maybe in the tossing, it catches some of that wrench that you've got, right?
Yeah.
And the guy hits the ground, and he howls, and he's in pain. And like I said, he'll have some permanent injuries from this, right? The mourner AI turns and walks away back towards Saruptu, the way it came down that hall.
So it seemed like he just wanted to put a hurting on that guy. Interesting.
From the fabric vendor, there's a woman, 3 kids. They come running out to the guy.
Yeah.
I think he's got a broken arm. I think maybe his leg is busted up too, right? And they're trying to care for him. The vendor from that stall, he comes out as well. As that robot walks away, the rest of the folks kind of get involved at that point after that.
Well, they seem to have his care under control. Like we're not having to like call for a doctor. Like they're caring for him as best they can. It seems like.
What do you want
I
to do?
I do want to try to. If people are gathering up, I do want to try to ask somebody if there's a crowd of people. Well, what did that thing want?
I don't know that. So I think you get a lot of indifferent answers from folks. They don't really know.
Okay.
But the woman who is with the guy who's now broken. Let's give these folks some names. All right. As you're asking, Rachel looks up from Eric. He's the guy who now has injuries. She is angry, right? She's angry. And she says, "Why didn't you stop it sooner?"
We tried. I kind of look at the other two. We're not from around here.
He did more than anybody else.
Yeah, I think when you say that, you also, at that point, you get a good look at Rachel. And I think the three of you also know at that point, she's not from around here either.
Oh. Interesting.
But Eric does seem like he's from around here. Let's keep talking in euphemisms.
So that is the narrator, Mad J, saying she's like the three of you, a vagabond also.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
In euphemism speak.
I mean, now that I realize, as I pick up on that, now I get a little red-faced. Sorry. I realize now I should have kept my mouth shut about we're not from around here. I realize now we're supposed to be keeping sometimes a low profile.
Well, I mean, we just tried to wail on a giant robot. So.
That's true.
When no one else was, right? They were just going to let it go.
Yeah.
Three of you jumped out there.
Yeah. I think my instinct as someone that tried to help is to be kind of indignant. Nobody else, where were you? If you're all, you should have done something sooner. You didn't do anything. Nobody else did anything. We did the best we could. Did you see the size of that thing?
They get
Eric. Would have killed him if we hadn't stepped in.
They get Eric. Well, yeah, no, he'd have been absconded off someplace.
Mm-hmm.
They get Eric off to the side, and they try to care as best they can for him and his injuries. Rachel, when she's not looking after Eric, she's certainly looking back, scornful at the three of you, angry.
Young woman, what exactly did you do?
Well, that's a good question. I don't have an answer for that. I think she doubles down and she says, you three, you could have helped sooner, right? You could have stopped that thing long before it made it this far down. And you did nothing.
Yeah, well, I wish we'd kept doing nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna walk off.
Nice.
That's salty.
Salty old man.
I think the commotion in that section of the hall kind of dies down. They're going to wrap him up, bandage him up, try to help him out as best they can, like humans do, right? I think you have your cooked fungi. You've got some new red fungi. I think you swap some things out of the hauler. It's going to make the trip down to Saruptu. That's probably another hour and a half walk from where you are. And this main hall, it's called the Saruptu Hall, and it just leads straight into the main plaza of Saruptu. Nothing but vendor stalls and shelters where folks live. And there's a nice separation, right? So they don't kind of bleed into each other. But you have folks that live in this hall section. And you have folks that sell different wares and stuff in this section. The closer you get to the main section of Saruptu, the city, the better quality of goods you start to see. You start to see more haulers, bigger than yours, and more automations being used as you get closer to the city. Let me see if I can find it. Saruptu is built, and I think I have that. Yeah, there it is. It's built within a large oil tank. It's one of the biggest settlements in Penumbra. The city's districts protrude from the vault walls, growing downwards at the beat of its oil processing platform at the bottom. It's an important trade center along the corridor, which we'll talk about next session. It's got direct access to the tourists and several patrons that help make the city go. It's got ties to the community. Most of the settlements and shelters in this hall that we've passed, kind of like villages outside the big city. It has that kind of relationship happening. I think we'll end with everyone arriving inside Saruptu on the plaza level, which is 2 levels from being at the bottom. You've got 4 or 5 more levels up. I thought I had a map image of that, and I think it's in the video, the intro. I don't have it here to show, so now I'm mad. But here, you can see the roundness of the tank that the city is built in, and it's huge. And if you look up, you can see the different levels. They maintain the circular hole all the way up and through the tank. And somewhere on this level of the plaza, Helen has quarters or made arrangements, accommodations for you. What I want to ask is, as you arrive on the plaza, for each of you, what's the first thing you notice in the plaza? This is the first time you've been to the big city.
The big city.
Yes. What do you notice first? That's my question.
So I know there's too many people. There's way too many people here. I'm not comfortable. This feels wrong.
Nice. I like that.
I feel like a little more comfortable just because like I'm imagining where we were before, and Stillwell kind of felt a little more, say, rural in a way, like fewer people, probably simpler, but like it's not even so much the press of people, but it's just like all of the stuff and trappings of civilizations. Like there's probably more like AI, there's more activity, there's more like machinery. So I feel like that it makes me feel a little more comfortable in this environment.
The amount of phosphorescent shrooms and lighting, actual electric lights here. It's
nice.
Almost, yeah, it's so bright. Kind of love it.
At the end of every session, because we'll end here and we'll pick up next session here, I think you get at least a memory point and an influence point back.
Oh, I see.
But only back. So only if we
well, not back, but yeah, no, you get those. Sorry, I shouldn't have said back.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we get a memory point.
Your beacon. Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then I think you get those. I think those are base, right? I'm looking now, and then yeah, okay, so yeah. So let's call it 1 memory point to everybody, because you can earn memory points through negative memories and based on the habitat you're from, right?
Gotcha.
You can also get more memories. But I'm pretty sure you also get an influence point. And I will check that out before we play again. But I would go ahead and give yourself an influence point for that too. Okay. Welcome to Surruptu.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I'm still getting a handle on the game as a whole, but I like what I see so far. I like how the memories are made, good and bad. So I'm glad that you, Brendan, made a negative memory.
Yeah. It was interesting because I remember, like, I was trying to refresh myself about the mechanics a little bit, and I was confused at first, other than just purely role-playing reasons, which that's fine. But I found it interesting. Like, at first I was like, there's no, like, pro to making a negative memory that I could see at first, because it's, you make a memory that's going to make future rolls harder if it's the right action. You lose the one you're in. But now I see that it can earn you memory points, and then, like, in long-term play, it affects the cost of revelations, apparently. So once you fill out a whole journal page, negative memories affect the price of buying a revelation once you have a full journal. So it's almost like a meta mechanic in a way.
Right. And they stack too. So what I don't know, and I'll check before we play again, is do the negative and the positive one stack, right? If I have a negative one and a positive one, does that cancel out to 0?
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah.
Right. Or is it just the negative stack and the positive stack? And I'll have to check that. I don't know off the top of my head. So that's interesting too. All right, let's say our goodbyes. And we'll start with Rich Rogers. I'm glad you could come out and make this game, man. We've played a lot of games in the past, so I'm always happy to have you.
Never enough. Thanks for the invite, Matt J. I'm glad to be part of this.
Where can everybody find you out on the internets?
Easiest way is to go to Twitter @OrcLord, but you could also subscribe to +1 Forward. It's free. It's a podcast. It's good. You can find out about games where you roll 6-sided dice instead of just 4s, but it's still good.
4s don't get enough love.
They don't.
They don't.
Nibiru loves some 4s, some D4s. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Unless you're stepping on them.
Yeah.
Brendan, how are things with you, man?
Good. I thought this game was super. I'm fascinated by the fact that, again, any system where the base traits get built during the game, I think is super interesting. So, and I also get the wrapping your head around the game at the start. There's just so much in the book, and it's so weird and strange. And there's so many strange pieces of, like, this mythology in there that to bite it all off at once is overwhelming. So this taking it in little bite-sized pieces, I think, is way more manageable. It's just such a weird world. So to take it all in at once would be tough. You can't find me anywhere on that. I don't know what to do. I guess you'd look up Brendan Howard and you find some stories written about animals and veterinarians, if that's true too. But I'm not really on social media right now.
That's not true, man. You have a podcast.
Oh, I do have a podcast, but it's kind of sitting dormant. I got a Patreon. Maybe you could find that, but I don't know. Brendan Howard, maybe you could find it. Good luck. I'm sure you can.
And Jeremiah Fry.
What I lost track. What are we about? Yeah, I'm on the social media. Usually just under my own name on Twitter and stuff. My username is usually pseudo idiot, PSEUDO. But yeah, I'm excited to finally give this game a try. Like I said, I backed it on Kickstarter and I read it, and it kind of messed my brain up a little bit because I wasn't sure. I had a hard time imagining how this game would play out. So actually I feel like it's one of those games that you sort of have to just play to kind of learn it, which is cool. So yeah, I'm glad you were willing to run this and we were able to get a few people together to play it.
I'm your host, Mad J. You can find me at MadJ0 on Twitter. This game's fascinating. It's huge, not by volume like Glorantha or RuneQuest. It's not large like that, but it's large in concept, right? And that's hard, like you said, Brendan, to dole out. So I hope we get 3 to 5 sessions of this. We can see more of the mechanics and more of the setting. I think our sessions get a little less rough than this one because we've got stuff to build off of now. So thanks for playing. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll be back in a fortnight.